Well, I don't have a little soundboard for a loss because we haven't lost in a while, so it couldn't do the clapping. But yeah, this is the Spurs versus everybody after show, the Nuggets game. The Spurs unfortunately fall to the Nuggets in overtime, 136 to 134. What's up? My name is Greg, as always. My boy Marshall in the building. This was a playoff game, man. This playoff atmosphere. This was a game where we felt this would be a test for the Spurs, as we have talked about Denver possibly being one of the teams that with the experience and some of the personnel that could be a thorn in the Spurs side. So we were looking forward to seeing this game, and it didn't disappoint, man. It was definitely a playoff gear atmosphere. We had everything, coaches complaining, foul call, fans were getting into it. A lot of Spurs fans were there cheering for the Spurs too. We had a great matchup. Jokic and Wemby didn't disappoint. And it all came down to, just comes down to in playoff basketball and close games, it comes down to, the decision making, who makes the plays, who makes the shots, and you got to give credit to Denver. They did their thing, and it is what it is. Marshall, opening thoughts? Anything? You can talk first quarter to fourth quarter, or you can just go right into where you think the Spurs kind of what happened.
Very winnable game. It was a very winnable game. Denver is one of those teams that I mentioned. They're going to play the Spurs tough. And this is the first time that Denver was fully healthy against a fully healthy Spurs team. And
Peyton Watson still hurt.
Yeah, Peyton Watson. I don't think he played at all, right?
No, he's got a hamstring. He might not be ready for the first round.
Okay, so
possibly he might be ready. I don't know.
Right. The last time we saw the Spurs play the Nuggets, obviously Wemby didn't play. Spurs were up by like 20, and we ended up getting walked down by what's his face? Their backup big at that point, or he was filling in backup power forward. He's filling in for Spencer Jones.
Oh yeah, you great old Spencer Jones.
Yeah.
I forgot
he ended up getting torched by Spencer Jones. So there's no Spencer Jones this game. It was just.
It was good old Jonas who made some of it contribute for them.
Yeah, Jonas made some contributions, but for the most part, it held Murray in check. Jokic is Jokic. He did his thing. You know what I mean? Like shots that he made over Wemby in overtime. I mean, he has that touch, and he has that high arcing shot where you just can't block it, even though how tall Wemby is. Two early fouls by Wemby was kind of not smart, but he figured out, okay, I can actually stay on the ground. I don't have to jump, and I can get blocks on Jokic. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, having said that, their key, their X factor for this game, they had two, was Christian Brown. I don't know how many times we left the man open for three, and Cam Johnson, who got hot late, including that 4-point play.
That was a killer.
Which I'm going to talk about how very disappointed and irritated I am with this certain player, but I'm going to let that go early on right now. Those two guys were really the X factor for the Denver Nuggets. I mean, they have a team full of guys that can just shoot. They can shoot. Hardaway can get his shots out. I mean, Cam Johnson's knocking down shots. I think
they said it was like 40% from the 3-point line on the season. They're I think they're first in the NBA shooting, and Hardaway, like you mentioned, Hardaway's, they said that he's, the league leader in 3-point shooters off the bench. So
yeah, I mean, they're the best offense in the league for a reason, and we clearly saw why. So it just is what it is. Overall, they shot 19 of 46. From the 3-point line. Spurs shot 15 of 45, so that's 41 to 33%. You're gonna lose if the team most likely makes 4 more 3-pointers than you, and this is only a 2-point game. As free throw wise, Spurs were 25 of 27, Nuggets were 19 out of 22, and I mean Wemby had almost as many free throws as the Nuggets' whole team. So.
Yeah,
kind of is what it is. I mean, Jokic shot a lot too. Jokic is 13 of 15. So that's,
it was a good matchup with them
big men. Yep. Very, very good matchup. Rebounding wise, too, 50 to 45. Spurs not too crazy turnovers. Spurs had 9, Nuggets had 6. So that's also where you want to, kind of
Championship
slow that
basketball for the
down.
ball, which
But
nine's
yeah,
not that bad, overall.
no, that's not that bad. So it wasn't too crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Jokic had 3 blocks. That's pretty crazy within
Hmm.
itself, you know. So, your thoughts before I really rip into what I want to rip into?
No, it was a great test for the Spurs. I thought by the most part, we see the Spurs hit people in the mouth pretty hard in the first quarter, and they kind of did the same this quarter. And then we usually pull away the second, and then we trick off in the third, and then we ended up blowing them
Mm-hmm.
out. That's kind of been the pattern for the Spurs. The Nuggets kept it close, second and third
Yep.
quarters. They kept it close, and this was going to be, a game where you thought, okay, it's going to come down to who's gonna show up, what players are going to show up, what players are gonna the execution. Obviously, you got to think they're kind of in their favor a little bit, just because they've
Mm-hmm.
been there before and they have such history together. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's going to come down to who makes plays and who doesn't. And I thought some players, kind of shied away. Devin did get the 4-point, the 3-point foul, which I didn't really like the shot, but he got fouled upon, and which was good. And the attitude to take that shot too still mattered. Didn't like the shot overall, but he still got a 3-point play. He kind of does that thing where he kind of takes himself out of the game a little bit, and we've seen this over the years. Sometimes when he
Mm-hmm.
gets not going, is when he would start off hot. Like we thought he was going to go for another 35-point possibly in the
Sure
beginning,
did.
and then he cooled off, and instead he kind of takes himself out of play where he just makes passes back and forth, kind of just kind of floats. He did take the ball to the basket one time, which I liked
Yes.
because
A couple
uh,
times actually.
yeah,
It was very patient.
and I think it's the evolution of his game. We're understanding if my shot's not falling, I got to get downhill, and so I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that about him. But he's just still got to be able to shoot. Still, take his mind into the game, and still make plays overall. Yes, just some good plays overall from the bad poor selection. I thought Fox took some shots I didn't like from him. Dylan Harper turned the ball over one time. He got pulled, and we didn't see him again in the game.
So he hit that
Yeah,
3-pointer at the end.
yeah. Keldon, yeah, was a meh. This game, I think I've seen better. Keldon usually plays Denver pretty strong. Um, so I was a little surprised. He missed some shots, kind of kept it low key. Wasn't as big as impactful as it is. So I don't expect that to be a continuing theme. My thing was leave Christian Braun open. If someone's gonna beat you, it's gonna be Christian Braun. And he did this game. I don't expect it in a 7-game series that he's gonna be able to do it. That's still my plan. I rather eliminate the 2-man game and give shots to Christian Braun than to try to play straight up. But you can't give them open corner threes. That's the easiest shot at basketball. Um, you know, other 3-pointers, I'll take it from him. But in playoff basketball, it's all about eliminating people's strengths and leaving their weaknesses open. And I'm gonna leave Christian Braun. I'm sorry. That's the game plan. I'm gonna do it. And if he beats you 4 games where they win the series, you just tip their hat to them. So I wasn't mad at that game plan, but shout out to Christian Braun for making them when they counted. Don't like that they were corner threes. Gotta take those out.
Yeah.
You don't want to give those up. Aaron Gordon makes a great play. On one sticks out where he switches on the Fox. Fox usually gets into the lane pretty easily there, either for a mid range or a floater, or gets the basket. Aaron Gordon switched on him quickly and shut that down. And I thought we had problems getting into plays a little bit. The Denver defense, Aaron Gordon really stifled Wimby. Wimby had been getting downhill and being physical like I wanted him to overall this game. But in the fourth and later on, I thought Aaron Gordon really stouted up a little bit against him. They
Mm-hmm.
sent the double team. They sent the double team when he was at the right time to slow down him making a move or whatever, and
Yep.
slowing down the overall play where we had to take last second shots. So they didn't. The key is you got to also attack Jokic. Like I thought Champagne could have attacked him. I'm a little hesitant about Champagne taking it off the dribble against Jokic because Jokic still is kind of crafty. He can still get over and block you if you're not
Yep.
paying attention. But I think Devin had a couple of times where he was on Jokic. I need Devin to go ahead and go at Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
go downhill, finish over him. get to his mid range. I think you got to exploit him. You're going at they went at Jamal Murray, which you should.
Mhm.
Be physical with him, with Castle, Dylan Harper, see what he's got, test him out on that. Their whole thing is trying to protect Jokic as much as possible. So they did pre-switch a lot of things for him, but you still got to get him involved in the action and try to go at him himself. He did have a play where he did switch on to Fox pretty well. Fox still got an open little jumper that he probably could have taken, but he passed out, I believe. But overall, just unfortunate, wait to the end of the game, but it's a learning experience for the Spurs. They're going to have to put it quickly now because we're going into the playoffs. So this is definitely a game that you would have liked to see more of these games throughout the season. But you got a taste of it. So we'll see what happens going forward.
Well, I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna call it over. We had 3 guys that took 4 more 3-pointers and did not hit a single one of them.
Yeah.
Being Fox, Castle, and Keldon. Fox was 0 for 6, Keldon was 0 for 6, Castle was 0 for 4. So if you're between the 3 of y'all, if y'all could not hit a single 3-pointer after your 3rd 3-point shot, might want to try to do something else. I don't care if you're open or not, because you're just not, they're not dropping. So that was a killer for me. It was an absolute killer for me. A couple of those for Fox were at the end of the shot clock because he had to force them up because the Spurs offense, when it comes down to clutch time, looks stagnant. There's no type of play calls or anything being run unless they're out in transition where they can get the ball out. So that, to me, goes with coaching. Mitch, what are you doing to get Fox open and get him the easier look if he's your guy that you want the ball in his hands at the end of the game rather than just trying to force feed Wemby? Because it just looked sloppy and it looked stagnant down the stretch. Now we had some steals and some defensive stands that, Wemby was able to throw the one lob up to Vassell in regulation that he got, and then the one in overtime that just didn't. He just couldn't get it. But there's got to be some type of switch up there when it comes to the playoff. Now, having said that, here is why I am slightly concerned. I mean, Denver, if the Spurs get to Denver, would be a fun series. It could go 7 games either way. I think either one of these teams is going to face the Thunder in the conference finals. I don't see any other team doing that unless Denver does not catch the Lakers, which at this point, with no Luka and no Austin Reeves, the Lakers should fall off. Like, there's no reason why Denver shouldn't pass them. But if the Nuggets somehow don't make it into the 3rd spot and somehow the Lakers miraculously hold on to that 3rd spot, then okay, Denver, good luck facing OKC. With that full team that they have, though, I'm not going to say they couldn't beat them because they took them to 7 last year.
Mm-hmm. They should have won that game. They should have.
Aaron Gordon doesn't get hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shot, but we're going to see how he's going to be able to hold up because we saw points in this game where his,
he looked banged up.
Looked like he definitely looked banged up. So, but that's that. But Peyton Watson comes back. If he does come back healthy, I mean, I don't know. But the thing for me, before I get into the individual players that kind of hurts me, the Spurs scramble around so much trying to get to shooters. If you have to face a team that can knock down 3-point shots or that will just continuously shoot, and not give a damn like the Phoenix Suns, you're going to run into some problems.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I don't personally want to play Phoenix in the first round because of that.
Yeah.
Because of you go up against the Phoenix team with Gillespie, with Brooks that can even get hot at points, with Green, obviously Booker, O'Neal, Goodwin. Like, they can all just lace it up and light it up at some point. If you're not getting your ass back on defense, especially in transition, and you're giving up a lot of those threes, you're going to get run out the damn building, especially with how some of the shots that our guys take. So they're going to have to be smarter with shot selections. You have to be smarter with how you're handling the ball with the offense. But that, again, Mitch, that's coaching. That's something that you have to realize and you have to make adjustments for. Now, having said that, this particular game, Fox pissed me off. Fox pissed me off. I get it. A couple of those shots down the stretch, he was forcing up. But dude, off of a fast break, you're down by 2. Why the hell are you going to sit there and try to put up a mid-range jumper? It's not a layup when you have time to bring the ball back out and set up some type of offense, dude. Like, what the hell are you doing? It just doesn't make any sense for me. And then some of the 3-point shots and the sock selection that he had, dude. If you're not getting to the hole, I don't want you shooting those 3-point shots because you can't make them consistently. If you're not on early on, I don't want you shooting any of those. It's either get to the hole or drive and kick to your shooters, being Champagne, who had a great game, or Vassell, who was hot early, or even Wemby at times. But I don't want to see him trying to shoot these 3-pointers in transition and forcing these up. It just looks bad. It looks sloppy. Keldon, like I mentioned, 0 for 6. If you miss your first 2 or 3, buddy, get to the damn rim because you are very good about doing that and drawing fouls and bumping people out the way. This is not one of his more shining games. It is what it is. And then Mitch, why is Carter Bryant only playing 5 minutes? He didn't even take a shot. Yeah. And when he was in the game, he actually looked kind of decent on the defensive side. I would have put him in to at least try to slow down a Murray. Then you can put Vassell and Castle off ball, and they can get some steals and get you out. Like, pull Fox and put Carter in, for crying out loud. Like, damn, let's start getting creative here. And that's one thing I'm concerned about is they're not going to play Carter come playoff time when you're actually going to need him. So
yeah. I thought Carter, I mean, we talked about, Carter Bryant not getting minutes early on. And I think the last 2 games, I don't know if they watch our show or whatever, because it seems like everything we talk about, they end up doing. But Carter Bryant has been put into the beginning of the games more and gotten more of a chance. And he just hasn't shown anything. He just wasn't good on either side of the ball, non-factor. So I understand why he didn't play. It's unfortunate, after the hot start, that little start, he's just been a non-factor. But they gave me what I wanted. They got
just pulled. I think they just leash is so short. Go ahead, sorry.
That's true. I mean, I would like a longer leash for players and stuff like that. If you're going to give him a full run, give him the full run. But he was just in non-impactful either side of the ball. So, yeah, it just bad decision making. The biggest one we didn't even talk about is the foul on Cam Johnson.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing with the Fox trying to.
Yeah, you're up. You're up. I think we're up 6 points or something with like a minute something left. You should close that game. There's no excuses. And then you do the worst the thing possible is foul a 3-point shooter, and he makes it on top of that. So now you're like now the game's close. Like, instead of playing a foul game or execution game, now it's like, okay, now you gotta actually now it's nut up and shut up time because you make that dumb mistake. So you can't. And we always talked about, like, watching Fox over the years. There's some questionable things he will make, shot selection wise, defensive wise. We've seen that one play where all he had to guard, Mike Brown had put him in the corner, and all he had to do was guard that corner guy in the playoffs, and he didn't even do that. I don't even remember if he fouled him too on top of that, but something happened where it was a corner shooter and Fox played off of him, and he didn't. Like, it was just like such an obvious, just don't let that guy shoot. Be attached to him. And Fox just kind of brain fart. And that's the thing with Fox. He's going to have these brain farts offensively and defensively. And we just seen him over in the Spurs, just come over in the Spurs now. And it's just like, all right, man, like, we need you to lock in offensively and defensively. Let's make good decisions. We got to make decisions. This is championship basketball now. So those are things he's going to have to look at the film, look over himself, and really fix and lock in and stay locked in. I don't know what that overall, how do you fix that or what has to happen from him, but he definitely has to do better as the fourth quarter guy, as the de facto guy you bring in as a max guy to help us. He has to be better. You can't. I mean, I don't know. Like, Castle kind of forced one where he went up, and tried to score. He didn't, do his thing. He makes a lot of them, so it's like hard to like criticize, but also like, did we need that at that time? It's like, overall, he just needs to also defensively just make sure, like, and a lot of players that need to do this is like when you switch, you got to be able to communicate who's going to get over to the shooter, like
Mhm.
who's going to pick up that shooter. You have to be able to do that. And I think sometimes they left the shooters wide open. Transition, like you said, mentioned, you got to be able to pick up, and it's hard to do it. It's not like you have to have communication. You have to be on a string, and you have to have the personnel, like everybody coming back at one time, you know. But you definitely have to
Mhm.
be able to pick up shooters, and we've seen that as a problem for the Spurs over the this year is picking up the
Yeah.
shooter in transition. I
Yeah.
think this. Let's see. We got a comment. I think Spurs can't go away from Cal's touches in the clutch. What do you think? How do we like? How do we like the ball being in? Because basically they ran it through Wemby. They gave Fox a touch. They kind of isolated Castle out of the way. How do we feel about not giving Castle clutch touches? Because he's made clutch shots before. I mean, throughout the years, clutch threes, clutch baskets, taking over in the four sometimes. I mean, in those.
Yeah. The thing that worries me with Castle is sometimes his decision making, especially if he's trying to pass the ball, because he just gets a little bit out of control. Got a
Mhm.
little mono in him where it could be amazing, but sometimes it's just like, dude, what the hell are you doing? So if you're just getting the ball to him to go and score, okay, I'm cool with that,
Mhm.
or just a simple screen and roll or something with Wimby. I'm cool with that, but just thought it was weird with Joe. Yeah, no, I agree with you. He should be able to get to the rim like that, right? But again, that's on a Mitch thing. You're just trying to force feed Wimby and like, oh, go and make us a play. And it's just like sometimes you can't do that because come playoff time, when you have teams that are able to study you for multiple games, they're going to double him and force him to get rid of the ball. And if he's not ready for it, there's just going to be turnovers off of turnovers off of turnovers, and we're going to end up Spurs are going to end up getting run out of the gym depending on who they're playing. Like you're gonna have to figure that out very, very quickly. So
And that brings up a good point where they hopefully they put this wrinkle in. Is we've seen when we have a guard, when we have a guard guarding Jokic, whether it be Keldon, whether it be Stefan Castle, and he sets that screen,
yep.
you can get the ball to Keldon, and we've seen Keldon destroy Jokic in the pick and roll. He did
Mm-hmm.
it to Rudy Gobert. He's done it to Jokic. I believe Kev Castle could do the same thing. Um, they have to be able to put that wrinkle into it where because you can attack Jokic over and over again like that.
Yeah.
That's something that I haven't seen in a while, but I like to see it, especially with Keldon, who's dynamic in the paint. Especially if you're gonna have Keldon kind of guard Jokic, so let Wemby kind of roam off of Braun. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to if you can run that pick and roll and have someone finish on Jokic every time. That's a way you can really just really put damage and get points in the paint against Denver. So that'd be an interesting wrinkle I want to see going forward. But that's a good about an overall threat by
Yeah.
so. But I completely agree. Yeah, thank you for the
Yeah.
comments.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't mind having the ball in Fox's hand down the stretch. I mean Fox's, excuse me, Castle's hand. Did you
Mhm.
talk about Castle? Yeah, Castle's hand
Yeah,
by the down the stretch because we have seen him hit big shots. You're right. It just depends on his passing because that's one thing where I'm just a little concerned about because he has some
mhm.
turnovers where it's like, uh, nah. But he does put pressure on the rim. If you do have Jokic on him, great. Now on the flip side, right?
Mhm.
Because we know all the attention that Jokic draws, um, I don't specifically like the Spurs trying to double Jokic all the time. Like if he's gonna beat you with twos, okay, fine, but don't leave shooters open.
Yeah,
Don't leave shooters open. That's all I'm gonna say. Because plenty of times the Spurs are up by double digits. All right, looking like we can make some things happen. Jokic gets the ball. They like try to double on some weird, and then he kicks it out to Brown or Cam Johnson or somebody that ends up hitting the three. And I'm like, y'all, why are we helping so far over? I mean, even when with Fox trying to jump out at Cam Johnson, it's because they were doubling.
yeah.
Like, why the hell are you doubling? You're up 6 points. So what if he gets a 2-pointer? Don't freaking leave the three.
Yeah, it was a bad. There was one play. There was bad communication. They ran the play to get the switch to
Mhm.
have Jokic on Champagny, and then Wimby's coming over to kind of switch because he knows that Champagne's going to get cooked, and then Jokic just finds the Aaron Gordon cutting to the rim and the dunk right there. So Jokic is a guy that you do not want to you can't really double. Like you have to like really surprise him from the backside. Like pause. That's wild. You could clip, you could clip that, but or don't clip that, please. You really have to catch him when he has his back to the basket, and you can just poke it from on his right side a little bit, maybe his left side. But you really can't really. It's hard to double someone like that with that passing ability that he has, and then the shooters spraying out. The best thing you can hope for is a Christian Braun 3 at that point. I mean, Cam Johnson is now hitting 40-something% or 50% or something the last 10 games. They said, so he's coming on. Maybe Bruce Brown. You leave Bruce Brown open, and you feel comfortable him.
Yeah, I feel comfortable probably leaving Bruce Brown open, but I would not leave.
Yeah.
I would not leave Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, Murray, or Hardaway open. Aaron Gordon, to a degree, I've seen him. I know he hit like 10 threes in a game, but he's kind of hit or miss with that.
And that's the problem with like how they design their team is they have a dynamic 2-man game, and then they have shooters around it. So you pick your poison.
Yeah, even Strother came in and hit a couple of threes.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
But yeah, disappointing loss. But I think this is if the Spurs are able to get out of that first round matchup with whomever that they play.
Yeah, it was. We could. I mean, it was a great game. Don't get me wrong, and I can't wait if we get a 7-game series of this or a playoff series of this. Speaking of that, like, how do you still feel the Spurs could take Denver? Or do you think? Well, give me the odds on what you're thinking. 50-50, 60-40.
It's 50-50 for me, man.
Okay, so toss up. Let us know in the comments who are y'all taking in series? What are your percentages?
I think it's 50-50 for me. The fact, well, hell. We're not seeing the Spurs full team play the Denver's full team in San Antonio. So that's my only potentially saving grace because we clearly weren't able to beat them in Denver. So my only saving grace is if the Spurs can hold home court, winning in 7. That's really all I got.
Now, interesting wrinkle too is I don't know. You can't really start Keldon, but if you're gonna, it's hard to have somebody out there to guard Jokic to have Wemby play off of him. That's the only interesting thing is like because when you have Keldon, obviously in that second unit, then Wemby roams off of him on Christian Braun. The first unit, you really don't have anybody stout enough to physical up. I mean, you're not going to physical up Jokic at all, but you don't really have anybody of Keldon's strength or anybody in that starting lineup. Like you don't want Champagny doing it.
No,
you don't want Vassell doing it. Obviously, you can't really
roam Castle doing it either.
You really can't roam Wemby off of anybody in that first unit. So I don't know if you can't really. I don't know if they wouldn't. It doesn't seem like a Spurs move to start Keldon and do that to implement that right away. In the first quarter against Jokic. So I guess you're just left with playing Jokic straight up with Wemby and maybe just sending a double team here and there or doing something. But interesting.
I could see them potentially trying to start Harrison Barnes on him for whatever reason.
He's probably the strongest that we have.
Yeah, I don't think it's the smartest thing to do. Wish we could see a part of Mason Plumlee, but he's not going to be getting any minutes anytime soon. So, I mean, unless you're going to move Castle or Vassell to the bench, because you're probably not going to move Fox, even though that would be my first choice. You're just going to have to probably play him with Wemby straight up and keep everybody else on the shooters. So,
will we see any double big versus Denver?
Probably not. I think that would be a mistake to do that.
Okay.
Right now, the Spurs are missing that 4. I mean, let's cut it to the chase. They're missing that 4.
If they had an Aaron Gordon type, you would have Aaron Gordon on Jokic, and then you would let them be roam.
Yep. So, if the Spurs end up playing Denver in the playoffs, and that's what it comes down to, is they just have those wings that are just able to get us, and it is what it is. Like they're in a sense they don't have a Mitchell Robinson, but they're kind of a long, lengthy team like the Knicks are. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You got Murray is their kind of Brunson, though he's not he doesn't shoot as much as Brunson. Say he's better or worse as far as shooting wise, whatever. The Knicks obviously don't have any Jokic, but between the Jokic, Aaron Gordon, that's a big team. Jokic gets going with Aaron Gordon. They get out in the open court. They run and gun. Then you got your shooters on the side. Um, you know, they're a tricky team. There's a reason why, even though their record says what it says right now, there's a very high chance that they could end up representing the West in the finals. It's a very,
Yeah.
very high chance. I would say the odds are probably third behind the Spurs and the Thunder right now, but you could easily say maybe they're even second based on this game in some people's eyes. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would put
remains
them.
to be seen.
I have the Spurs over OKC right now as my favorites in the West, and then I
Mhm.
would take Denver, like a fully healthy Denver team. I would take it at OKC just because of the size and the physicality they play with versus OKC. I think they can. They still have the athleticism at the size position to kind
Mhm.
of still play. Like they don't have to play small, and I think
Yeah.
that they really show that they can beat up OKC. Um,
Yes.
and I think if the players don't get hurt for Thunder, I mean for Denver, I
Denver.
think they come out of that pretty well.
Yeah. Only reason why I would probably say some people might have Denver over the Spurs and probably still have OKC first because you still got to get to OKC. More
Yeah,
than likely, you're going to have the Spurs and Denver play each other. Now, if Denver ends up sticking in that fourth seed, then yes, I would say, Spurs probably looking like the favorites. You could probably say they're looking like the favorites based on the road to get there. But it's all about the road.
yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be interesting, man. Spurs are gonna have to go to the drawing board and fix what is just mistakes, little mistakes. They're gonna have to learn stuff. Their experience, they're gonna have to learn. But they can definitely dominate the paint, and
yeah.
they'll have better. They'll have. I don't expect Keldon and Fox to shoot like that, or even Castle. So it is
Yeah.
what it
Like
is.
on the flip side, we gotta hope Champagne keeps his shooting
Yeah,
up.
that's I don't. Champagne probably is not going to go 6 for 9. Shout out to Champagne. I put him
Yeah.
as my player of the game because he hit the 6 threes to break the single season record. He's
Yep.
192 threes on the season. I thought it
Yep.
was Danny Green, but I kept hearing Chuck Person. So
Somebody said it was Danny. I heard Danny Green though at the end.
yeah,
They
and
said they
then I kept
broke
hearing.
Danny Green's.
So shout out to
I
Danny
think I
Green
think
or
he
Chuck Person, or Chuck Person was
I
number
think
two.
he's number two behind Chuck versus for threes all time or his first
Oh,
history, or
okay,
something like that.
okay. It was getting a little confusing. I was
Yeah.
like, Danny Green, Chuck Person,
Yeah.
who is it
I
exactly?
think
What's
that
going
I
on?
think that's what I heard, but I don't know. And it honestly could have been more. It really could have been more with based on how the Spurs used him. He was in the lineup, not in the starting lineup when Harris came back. And it's weird. But anyway,
Shout out to
um,
Champagne. Came through six
yeah,
of was it 6 of
absolutely.
8, 9, 6 of 9.
6-9. Yep, 6-12 overall. I wish he would have dunked on them.
Oh, he got
Uh
blocked ugly style, right? I think Christian Braun got him, or was it Jokic?
I don't know if it
He
was
got
one of them or if it was
sandwiched. He
Gordon.
got
I couldn't
sandwiched or
tell.
something. He got
Yeah,
sandwiched
it
on that
was.
one. I
So
was like, damn, right? You right?
yeah, yeah. Um, Shoots, I got some around the league, man. Unless you got one
Okay,
more.
let's look at the next coming up schedule.
Oh, we got before that. Yes, thank you.
For the Spurs, did we either? I don't remember if either of us. I think you chose Denver to lose, right?
I did. Well, I thought the Spurs were going to be on
Like a
a
3 or 4 game
three-game
one.
stay because I did not pick them to beat the Clippers, and
Okay, yeah, that's
they
right.
we ended up coming out and winning that one, which was good. Um, but I
Let's see.
had a Denver loss, and the
I had the
next one is
Trailblazers.
this. Yes,
Oh,
you did. The
you had
next one
76ers,
is
right?
this. I do
Sixers,
have the
right?
Sixers as a loss. That's going to be another pivotal game based on the way
Mm.
they've been playing.
Paul George getting
Not,
tested for drugs again.
I know.
He's starting to
right?
go off a little bit. So
Shoot, Oubre went off the other day. Like, watch out, man. Shoot, find out the Sixers make it into the sixth seed and
that'd
challenge
be
the
wild. That'd
Knicks.
be funny. Like
They're
all the
gonna be
years
the
we did.
sixth, maybe even the fifth seed, and they finally bring it together. But as history would have it, if you miss so many games, you're not about to do anything in the playoffs. Like, it just is what it is.
So yeah, we got the Sixers game Monday, April 6th, 7 p.m. Post game show will probably be at 10. So I got the
Dang,
win. Marshall's
that's the
got the
game
loss.
same day as the Natty.
Yeah, that's shout out to March Madness coming to a close. It's April Madness now.
Yeah.
So we Marshall has a loss. I have a win. Let us know in the comment section or in the live chat who do you got winning that game. And the score. You can drop a score if you want. And the Spurs after that only have 4 more games. Let's see, 3 more games. Trailblazers, Mavericks, and they finish with the Nuggets.
Finish with the Nuggets.
The playoffs are here, ladies and gentlemen. The playoffs are around the corner. And even though it was a disappointing loss, I'm still super high over the season and super high in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
So we can go into your around the league talk if you're ready.
Let's get it.
Checking in.
Around the league.
Checking in around the league with Spurs versus everybody.
Yeah, great game. Jokic was the best. Yeah, Jokic is so fun to watch. Like he just you don't. His words not describe him, man. He's just a generational offensive player. Like he's just amazing player. So it was a great game, man. It was super fun to watch, even though we lost. Love basketball. So. Oh, sorry. Around the league.
No, you're good. You're right. I mean, you're 100% right about that. All right, round the league. Where to start? So obviously, lost this one. Not really going to change anything in the West. I mean, the Spurs are still going to be in the number 2 seed, as mentioned. They will not be catching the Thunder as much as we would like. It's not going to happen.
They didn't get 60 wins either, they didn't get 60 wins yet.
Yes. Yeah, not yet. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. So the Lakers are going to fall, more than likely. Looking at their remaining schedule with no Luka, with no Austin Reeves, they have the Mavs, the Thunder again, the Warriors, the Suns, and the Jazz. They will be falling to where we don't know. They will avoid being in the play-in for sure, but they could end up falling maybe as low as 5, depending on how Houston is able to finish up their season. As they have Rockets have the Warriors, Suns, 76ers, Timberwolves, and Grizzlies, so they'll have to fight in order to get there. Now Denver, looking at their last, they have the Trailblazers, Grizzlies. They host the Thunder, which at that point, I'm pretty sure the Thunder might be resting guys based on them probably locking up the number 1 overall seed. And they have the Nuggets at the end. I mean, the Spurs at the end, which both teams probably will be resting guys, I'm thinking, unless like the Nuggets have something to play for, for being that 3rd seed or whatever.
Yeah.
So my main thing I want to look at is that play-in. All right. So we have a little bit of a switch in the play-in right now since the Spurs were able to beat the Clippers the other day and the Trailblazers have been winning. The Clippers have now fallen to 9th. So right now, the Trailblazers would be playing the Suns for the 7th seed in that first play-in game. I would prefer to play the Trailblazers over the Suns, me personally. I do not want to play the Suns because they can shoot. And Brooks is been proven to have a bit of an effect on Wemby on the defensive side. So I definitely don't want to see that. So, I mean, it's still possible the Clippers could end up jumping Portland, and then it's between the Suns and the Clippers. And I mean, hell, we've shown that we can blow out the Clippers, but I mean, I don't want to put anything past Kawhi getting hot or Brook Lopez randomly getting hot or Garland.
I don't think Garland's going to play as that worse, but he doesn't do great in the playoffs. But I don't think he'll be as worse as he was that other game.
Yeah. So yeah, personally, give me Phoenix.
Okay.
And then the second round, more than likely, like I said, it's going to be Denver. If Houston can somehow pass Denver and the Lakers and get to third, bring on the Rockets. Bring on the Rockets. I'm
I would
good with
love this.
that.
I would love to spank the shit out of the Rockets.
Yep. Or hell, if the Lakers even want to hang on, but that means they would
Oh,
have to beat.
they definitely can get this belt too.
That means they would have to beat Minnesota in the first round, and
Oh no,
I
no.
don't really want to play Minnesota in the second round either. So you kind of got to figure out how you want to do things, man. It's yeah.
we'll, we'll see how it
There's some
turns out, man. A little
scenarios here.
nervous. He gets nervous. Gets a little nerve wracking.
Yep. It's one thing I've said all year. Hey, own the Thunder. We beat the Thunder. I'm not worried about the Thunder, but can we get to them? That's my question. Can we get to the Thunder?
Yeah.
The only thing that's stopping the Spurs. Now, flip it to the east side. To the east side.
To the east side.
It's looking like the Pistons are going to be the number one seed. Celtics probably will be 2, Knicks 3, Cavs 4. That's what we're probably looking like. But everything else is kind of up for grabs. Orlando and Miami on the low man of the totem pole probably will be in the play-in. Charlotte maybe as well. Then you have Atlanta, Philly, and Toronto. Between those 3 teams for 5, 6, and 7, don't know how it's going to go. I would probably say Philly ends up in the 6th spot. They do have a tough end of their season. They got the Pistons tonight, the Spurs, the Rockets, Pacers, and Bucks. Atlanta's got the Knicks, Cavs twice, and the Heat. Toronto's got the Celtics, Heat twice, Knicks, and the Nets. And then for fun, we'll do Charlotte, who has the Timberwolves, Celtics, Pistons, and Knicks. So, I mean, it's a close race. We don't know who's going to be playing, who's going to be playoff. I think Atlanta might have enough of a lead to where they'll be able to sit at 5, Philly at 6. If we have Philly versus New York in the first round, I believe that was the first round of last year, right? Where
I can remember last month.
I believe that was the first round of last year's playoffs. I think that was the year when Embiid, or that might have been 2 years ago when Embiid kind of grabbed at Mitchell Robinson's knee, and I've hated him ever since. But yeah, we're looking for some good playoff basketball here. Cade should be coming back for Detroit. That'll be good for them. They're looking to play either the winner out of Orlando and Miami versus the loser of Toronto and Charlotte. I would venture to say they're probably going to play, unless it flips. I think they're going to end up playing the Magic. It's going to be the Pistons versus Magic in the first round.
Favorite first series or series that you think could be an upset?
Series that I think could be an upset. You want me to go for both sides, or you just want me to go?
Yeah, sure. If you want, whatever you want.
Okay. Series that I could see being an upset. I'm gonna go Hawks Cavs.
Okay. Taking the bright future Hawks.
I can see that being a potential upset. On the West, it depends. Spurs fans, y'all might hate me for saying this. The Suns make it.
That's the end of That is the end of our program, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun.
Sun Spurs.
That will be our last episode, apparently. Yeah, Marshall with a dagger right to the heart of the Spurs fans. The Suns.
If the Suns do get their Sun Spurs, that's a bad matchup. I don't like that matchup whatsoever. But if not, then I would probably say
can the Timberwolves, like if the Nuggets go to 3, can they beat the Timberwolves? The Timberwolves beat the Nuggets in the first round?
That would be a great matchup. That would be fun. A fully healthy Nugget squad versus Tim. I would really like to see that one. You could go and potentially. uh, How about if we do Rockets Lakers?
We
Since the
can do that.
Lakers will be in fourth and the
A
Rockets will be
little,
in
little,
fifth.
little bit of a cop out, but we'll take it.
A little bit of a cop out.
A
A little bit of a cop out.
a little bit of
You
cop
are
out,
right
but
about that.
we'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
You are right
You
about
still
that. There's a
answered the
little bit of a
question. You
cop
still answered the question
out.
pretty good. So we'll take it.
You're right about that one. So, also on the East, I'll go Sixers Knicks.
Okay, Sixers next. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments or at the end of the stream what's your favorite playoff series other than the Spurs. Obviously, Spurs first round is going to be our favorite. But other than that, who are you looking forward to seeing the playoffs play? Could be a series, could be a team, could be even a player. Just let us know.
I'm curious to see. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, good. You can answer the question too.
I'm curious to see what Durant is going to do with the Rockets.
Oh, okay. The Durantula first round, first. It's gonna be ugly. Poor guy.
Yeah. I'm curious to see that, and then also how the Cavs are going to mesh, and if they are going to be able to be that certain threat that we kind of think they could be, or is Harden going to just go back to playoff Harden, which doesn't show up, and Mitchell going to shoot you out of games?
Yeah, and Jared Allen lights too bright.
Yeah,
that's an interesting team for sure. Like you're just like they may get hot and they may be awesome, and they may just blow it. This might just be one of those teams that just can't get it together when it counts.
Yep. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is super fun. Western Eastern Conference playoff series going on. You want to sneak in some March Madness real quick? I know the game's going on right now. I'm trying to get out of here as fast as possible.
Yeah, we can do that. The women's Final Four is set. Weird exchange between Gino Ariama and Don
Gino,
Staley.
come on, Gino.
Yeah, I agree with you. Come on, Gino.
Come on, Gino. What are you doing, dog?
He's came off as like a grumpy old man. It's like, dude, you just
take the L, take the belt, relax.
Exactly. And then UCLA over UT. That was UT just can't seem to get over the hump, man.
It'll always be Longhorns forever, but yeesh.
Yeah, tough. And then the men's side, Connecticut and Illinois are playing. Still irritated that Duke lost the game because right now Duke would be beating Illinois. I'm already knowing, and they'd be going to the national championship to probably play, which I think will be Michigan. I think the winner of that Michigan-Arizona game will more than likely be the national champion. If UConn does win it all for the men's, Hurley is the GOAT.
Yeah, Hurley. You definitely got to put him in rare competition if he wins this one.
Absolutely.
Like, wow, he's pulled this off. Wow.
Yeah. So, Spurs fans, make sure y'all definitely check out that Michigan game and check out Yaxel Lindenberg, because he's a guy that should definitely be on the Spurs board to draft, because he could really be the missing piece. So, and
we'll talk about it when we bring on some draft experts. It's hard to do it during the playoffs, but we'll bring them on at some point and talk more Yaxel. Popular name within Spurs Twitter and obviously here. So check out the game. I know you have a prediction, Michigan all the way. So
Michigan all the way. Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. I just want good games.
I agree.
Anything else? I really don't got anything. I really can't really think of much else.
Thank
you everybody. Okay, good.
I'll say I guess the last thing, I got our former guy Sohan got a haircut.
Oh yeah, so I'm looking for like took the color out, took the fade, little taper. He's good. He's ready to go. Trying to change his luck in the NBA.
Yep, we'll see.
But shout out to the fashionable Sohan. But I appreciate everybody coming through. Good turnout. I had 10 to 12 viewers in here. People were commenting. I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. at Spurs versus everybody. Obviously, drop a comment, drop a like. It helps the algorithm. You can follow us on all social medias at Spurs versus everybody, Twitter, Instagram. You can find all the information there. Hang out with us there also. Marshall, I don't know why I just froze right there. Marshall tweets out during the Spurs games, and he tweets out everything sports related. So you can follow him at Marshall Best 14, right?
Yep.
You got it right. I made sure to get it right this time. I got it last show, so I made sure to do it again. So, Marshall Best 14 on X apparently now. I still keep forgetting about the big X.
So I'll be Xing instead of tweeting.
Yeah, it's not to be confused with the triple X's. No, we might be on there one day. Because money might be tight. Shout out to everybody. This has been another great post-game show. We'll catch y'all on Monday. Just go over the game. And I guess that's it. Peace. Bye-bye.